Just a reminder before today's programme that if you haven't seen the previous instalment of the Ident Review Extra, it can still be viewed here on the channel, and in that previous episode, we took a look at the centenary ident. And now, here on AMTV, it's time for the latest instalment of the Ident Review Extra. And this time, get out your pens, we're going to our diaries. The following programme is rated U. It is suitable for all audiences. Hello, and welcome to the Ident Review Extra, the spin-off show that takes a look at one individual ident each episode and gives it the review it deserves. And today we continue our marathon through the BBC2 idents of the 1990s. Today on our BBC2 journey, we take a look at a sequence that arguably was introduced as a main ident for the channel, and whilst it didn't have a long life initially, has gone on to become one of those idents that people have a soft spot for. So without further ado, let's take a look at Diary. Simple and satisfying, something this era of BBC2 does so well. What you see is essentially what you get with this one. A diary in the shape of a 2 has its page ripped out one by one, creating a swirling motion that is both soothing to watch and strangely intriguing. The calming music used for this sequence also adds to an overall calm tone, though personally I wish something a little bit more had been added into this sequence as a whole. I'm not quite sure what I would have added, but I feel out of the many BBC2 idents we've looked at, this one doesn't necessarily hold your attention all the way through to the very end. But let's take a quick look behind the scenes as to how this ident was made.
Another new ident hot off the press is called Diary. The final piece may be on screen for only a few seconds, but it took days to produce.
Basically, we have a piece of fish wire which is attached to the 2 with an undercurrent of air, so when we pull it, the actual 2 will come forward on a jet of air.
The original aim was to pull 10 2s off in rapid succession, but things got in a bit of a tangle.
And we ended up with a lot of cross wires even doing it on this way, but with 10 of them it was just like a sort of down at the lake on Sunday with everyone's rods going in. It was impossible to coordinate.
So they cheated. They repeated the original shot over and over again.
Well, that's the magic of television for you. This ident was originally introduced in early 1995 and would continue to be broadcast on the channel until around 1999. This means that Diary survived the BBC corporate rebrand that occurred in 1997, and with the corporation having a logo change, let's have a look at Diary a little later in its life.
Stepping onto the front line, decisive moments now on BBC2 follows the camera at war.
After coming off the air in 1999, Diary wouldn't be seen again for another 15 years, when in 2014, Diary would be on the select few 90s 2s to be put back on air to promote the channel's afternoon classic strand of programming. Let's have a look at this sequence in much higher definition.
Flicking back through the leaves of our diary now on BBC2 Northern Ireland for some more vintage comedy.
Because of all the moving parts, I think this is one ident you can certainly appreciate visually, given that you can see everything much more clearly. So whilst fans were happy to see Diary after a 15-year hiatus, it strangely wasn't included as part of the 50th anniversary lineup for BBC2. Viewers didn't have to wait too much longer for Diary to reappear again, as in 2015 it became one of many 90s idents to be put back into regular broadcast for the channel.
The Eggheads are back after their Christmas break at 6 o'clock here on BBC2 Northern Ireland, right after we join Paul Martyn.
Diary enjoyed a few more years of representing BBC2, when it was finally taken off air in 2018 to make way for the new era of curve idents. Will we see Diary in action again? Maybe one day. Maybe.
And now BBC2, a mid-season roundup of the Fantasy Football League.
Overall, Diary is a mixed bag of an ident if you ask me. Whilst I do enjoy its very simple premise and calming nature, it does seem to lack something a bit more that would make it stand within the top bracket of sequences from the same era. It just comes and goes, and whilst it is memorable to a degree, it's not one that everyone ultimately remembers. But like many of these twos, Diary has its fans, and for some, it remains a symbol of a bygone age in TV, and a time when everything, like this ident, was just a little bit simpler. And so we've come to the end, but before we go, the final words from our broadcaster. That was the Ident Review Extra. We hope you enjoyed, and that you tune in next time. Keep an eye on the community tab and the Sunday catch-up for further news about this programme, as well as others here on AMTV. But until next time, have a good week, and we hope that you'll join us again soon. Good night.